Hello everyone, this is module 4 of unit 1 in speaking and listening. In module 3, you remember we looked at formal and informal ways of starting and ending a conversation. In this module, that's module 4, we're going to look at using questions to perform two functions in English, asking for information and requesting for help. We'll also see how we can respond to these. Detailed objectives of this module are given in worksheet 4. Please remember to download worksheet 4 now and keep it ready. It's available along with the module script. It has both learning items and activities for you to practice what we learn in this module. If you're not familiar with question forms in English, do go to the worksheet before you start this module. Learn 4.1 has some resources for you to consult if you would like to revise your understanding of constructing questions in English. If you're ready, let's start with the first function. Part A of module 4, using questions to ask for information. Let's start by asking ourselves a question. Why do we need this function? We want to know about something. How's the samosa in the cafe? Or about an event. What time does the meeting start tomorrow? We ask for directions. Where's the nearest public toilet? Or information to do something. How do I get inside this box? We want to know about someone. Who is the neurologist at Amis Hospitals? Or who is the lady Manna is talking to? In a formal setting or while speaking to someone you don't know, a question like, where should I pay my fees? To someone you meet on your college campus, or where's the nearest public toilet? To someone on the street sounds quite abrupt, impolite, or perhaps even rude. So, in this part of the module, we see how to make these questions sound polite and formal. You can use phrases like, can you tell me? Could you tell me? Excuse me, I would like to know. Do you know? Would you know? Etc. before you ask your question or ask for information. When you start with these phrases, your questions sound polite. Take a look at the questions we saw earlier, now in their more polite avatar. Can you tell me how is the samosa in the cafe? Excuse me, I would like to know at what time the meeting starts tomorrow. Could you tell me where the nearest public toilet is? Do you have any idea how I can get inside this box? Could you tell me who is the neurologist at Amis Hospital? Do you happen to know who Manna is talking to? You can find more of these phrases listed under Learn 4.2 in worksheet 4. After this, please do task 4.3. Now let's see how this goes in a conversation. Let's combine the two functions we've learned so far, starting and ending a conversation and asking for information. Would you like me to bring in Deepa and Chandana back, or shall we find someone else? In this video, you see Jagveer and Neha meet in a college. Jagveer thinks he knows Neha. Here goes their conversation.
Hello, have we met before? Can you tell me which school did you go to?
I don't think we've met before. I went to St. Helena's in Jaipur.
Oh, I see. Then not a chance. I completed my schooling in Jalandhar. By the way, I'm Jagveer. I just joined the BA English Honours program.
Hello Jagveer, nice to meet you. I'm Neha.
Nice to meet you too, Neha. Your hair highlights are awesome.
Oh, thanks man. I'm planning pink next time.
Oh, you should.
What all classes are you taking?
Just the usual Indian literature, British literature, world literature, all the boring literature subjects.
Jagveer is polite when he asks, can you tell me which school did you go to? Instead of starting abruptly with, Which school did you go to? Also notice how he introduces himself instead of blurting out a "What's your name?" Pay attention to how Neha says hi and nice to meet you before introducing herself. However, here's a warning. Real-life conversations can also be unpredictable. We may not always get the response we expect for a question that we ask. Take a look.
How do I reach the library?
I'm not sure. I'm new here too.
Library? Never been to one. Do we have one here? Nimi, who's your most favorite relative?
Relative and favorite?
What's your most life-changing experience, Uma?
Oh man, nothing yet. I'm 17 already and I hope something exciting happens in my life soon.
Hey, how do I find the canteen?
Why would I know?
What's your favorite city?
I'm not sure I liked any I've been to so far.
Hello, what's your name?
And why do you want to know?
Please go to worksheet 4 and complete 4.4 and 4.5 now. Questions are also used when we request for help. In this part of the module, part B, let's learn how to make polite requests. Let's also learn how to respond to these requests. In this part, we look at phrases and expressions in English that can be used to make polite requests using questions. In our daily lives, we make requests of many forms using questions. Sometimes we ask others for help, request them to do something for you. Take a look at a few examples. Can you help me move this table? Could you get me a cup of coffee? Do you mind turning off the fan, please? Could you please allow my giraffe to watch this movie? And at times, to seek permission to do something, requesting if you can do something. Take a look. May I borrow this book, please? Can I use your pen, please? Do you mind if I sit on this table? Would it be possible for me to bring my pet to the class? Words and phrases in bold that you see on the card are used to make the requests polite. Without these, well, they are impolite. So what, you ask? Take a look at the difference that they make. Would you be happy to give your pen if someone you don't know too well came by and asked, "Let me use your pen"? Or would you give your pen to someone who said, "Can I use your pen, please"? So that's the difference. People tend to accept a request when it's asked in a polite manner. Take a look at the phrases given in worksheet under Learn 4.6. The second and third columns here convey different degrees of politeness. Which one do you think is more polite? Like I said earlier, the longer ones are the politest or the most polite. So column 3, of course. The important thing to remember is that we need to be polite when we make a request, accept or decline a request. Our language needs to change while talking to people we don't know very well, or people who are older, or people we need to be courteous or show respect to. We have a similar language feature in Hindi and many other Indian languages. The difference we make between a tu, tum and aap in Hindi or a nuvu and miru in Telugu is roughly the same difference between a "give me your pen please," "can you give me your pen please," and "would you mind giving me your pen please." Learn 4.7 has a link that explains 10 expressions that can be used to request for help and the different situations when you can use them. Do take a look. After this, do tasks 4.8 and 4.9. we move to the third part, part C of this module. In part C, we move to accepting requests. We learn how to accept requests. How do we accept requests? Here are two examples. This bag is heavy. Could you help me carry it? Sure, let me help you. The second example. My arm hurts. Can you open the door for me, please? Of course, here you are. However, all requests do not always have happy endings in this world. There are times when we have to refuse certain requests. So we move to part D, the fourth part of this module, how to refuse requests politely. Take a look. Could you take care of my python while I'm away? Can you tell my girlfriend that I love her? Would you mind bringing back some peacocks when you visit? Could you give me a hand to climb onto this giraffe? But seriously, there are requests we cannot accept. Look at how to make them polite so we don't hurt people. This bag is heavy. Could you help me carry it? I'm afraid I can't. It's too heavy for me. Or the second example, can you save a seat for me, please? I'm sorry, I can't. My friend is coming with me. Take a look at how this goes with Jagveer. You remember him from earlier, don't you? Here he requests Avinash and Neha for help.
You know, just watching Tamil movies. And he speaks so good. If you look at him at first glance and you don't know he's from Tamil Nadu. AP.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just went to the hostel office and they gave me this bunch of documents to submit. Can one of you help me with filling this challan, please? I've never done one before.
Oh, sorry, I don't think I can. I'm a day scholar.
Ah, no worries, I sure can. Let's meet in the hallways around 6. It's tea time now.
Thanks, Avinash.
See ya.
See you then. See you.
Bye.
Since there are two friends, Jagveer starts with a hi both. And since both are people he knows, he frames his request with a can you please. Neha apologizes for being unable to help and she gives a reason. Avinash agrees to help with a sure I can. Also notice how Jagveer thanks Avinash and Avinash's response to Jagveer. Glad to help, he says. See you works here like a bye. There's an online handout that I've shared in Learn 4.10. Please take a look at that site for more phrases to use to make requests, to accept requests, and to refuse requests. When you feel ready, please complete tasks 4.11 and 4.12. Also in the previous video, notice how Jagveer ends the conversation by thanking Avinash for help. This is what we are going to look at now. Part E, thanking and responding to thanks. Something most of us do is just smile when someone thanks us and perhaps nod or shake our head to mean okay or not at all. Not to undervalue the power of a smile, but responding to a thank you verbally is essential to build relations and to sound confident in English. Thanking is easy. You can either say thank you, which can be used in all formal contexts, or you can say thanks when you're talking to friends or peers or equals. Let's take a quick look at phrases that can be used to thank someone and respond to someone who thanks you. Thanking and responding. You can say thanks, thank you so much, thanks for your time, thank you, I really appreciate that, I really appreciate your help, thank you, I'm so thankful for your help, or I'm grateful for what you did. And responses can be you're welcome, sure, sure thing, no problem, not at all, My pleasure. That's all right. No worries. Glad to help. Happy to help. Anytime. Or another thank you. Of these, you're welcome seems the most formal. All others such as sure, no problem, not at all, etc. can be used with friends and in informal situations. And please remember, mention not is not a response to thank you. Remember never to respond to a thanks with a mention not. Another thing I would like to mention here is that a thank you can be met with another thank you if both parties have received something. Like for instance in a shop. Take a look at this example. So that will be 350, says the shopkeeper, and the customer says, here, thank you. The shopkeeper responds, thank you. Please look at Learn 4.13 and then complete task 4.14 now. This will help you become familiar with different ways of thanking and responding to thanks. And that brings us to the end of Module 4. We've learned how to use questions to ask for information and to request for help. We've also learned how to politely decline a request and how to accept a request for help. Thanks for your patience. Please remember to complete all the tasks on Worksheet 4 and let's catch up soon.